My Chinese family abandoned me because of my albinism, because they think it's bad luck for the family. That's sort of, that is total nonsense, but they do believe it. So I got abandoned when I was 8 months, and when I was 3, I get a new family. My Dutch mother adopted me, but still, I sometimes think about my Chinese family. And in the Netherlands, they believe that being someone with albinism, that's unique and that's beautiful instead of bad luck. Still, people are looking at me and asking weird questions. For example, when I jump, doesn't fell your wig off or something like that? Or do you really need to wear sunglasses inside? And I just answer it, yes, I need to wear it, and no, it isn't a wig. But sometimes I just ignore it because people are sometimes asking weird questions, so you need to leave it sort of off. It's also a nasty thing that people are asking questions about me to my mother. I am a human being, and you can ask questions about me to me. People think about me, about my handicap as odd, that I'm different, and that can be challenging. But they don't discriminate me, but they do discriminate other people with albinism. So I am sort of lucky that I am on the good side of not being left out of a whole community, but sometimes with people at school, I will be left out of the group. Or with gym classes, you can choose which person you want on your team, and then I sometimes get chosen last. Some people don't accept it because it's different, but not like race. Also, with race, with other communities, people get discriminated. But now I mean with albinism, and sometimes in other countries, people will get discriminated. People with albinism are talking about things that made him or her strong, and that's inspired me. And also other people who are different and face their challenges, that's really inspiring. But also interviews and TEDx talks really inspire me. A person that really inspires me is Svetlana. He works with the Svetlana Foundation, and he's giving people with albinism a chance in life, because people with albinism get chased by witch doctors for their bones and need to fear for their life. So they go to the people with albinism go to safe houses to protect them from this kind of rude nonsense, because it's really nonsense. People believe in Tanzania, really, they do, that people with albinism have magic bones that cure certain diseases, but that's not true. Sometimes I feel I'm in a loneliness bubble. I'm different in many ways, but also the same in others. I am imperfect, but I'm also perfect.
I have albinism, also type 2B. I study tourist academy in Belgrade. I like to work as a model. Why people hate me? For I have albinism, and I cut my hair. My hair will be very long. People from Serbia see me god, vampire, grandma, And now people like albino people, but she love white hair, white eyelash, and white eyebrows. She no jealous me for I have albinism, but he no have white hair. I am like blind. My vision barely 2%. I don't have colors, very small. I see shadows like people, similar people. If you fall, you stand up and try again. Will be okay. Albinism, it's not ugly. Albinism is very rare and a very beautiful person, and you always love yourself.
I always know that I was different, but you know, when you grow up, it's kind of different. And I think the challenge was like, you know, like I live in France, but I grew up like in the countryside. So I was like, first I was Asian, then I was albino. I mean, it's kind of a big deal to like deal with the two of these things. I mean, dealing with one of the things is not very easy, but when you have both, it's even weird. So yeah, for a teenager or young adult right now, it's cool to be different, to not look like the others. But like 20 years ago, it was like pointed out, and being different, you knew that in the street or anywhere you go, people will stare at you. People will look at your difference. So I was born in Korea, like in the late 80s, and I was abandoned by my biological mother. So I was adopted by French people when I was 10 months old. So basically, when I was a kid, my parents always told me story about like being different, and so I always knew what I was. From every time I was outside, even with my parents or anyone, people would stare at me, would point me by the fingers, whether they were kids or even adults. There was a lot of reactions, like some people were laughing, some people were just staring like by curiosity, some other were like kind of afraid, you know, like because it's not very common and maybe they never saw it before, so there was like, what's this thing, you know, like, I don't know, we're speaking about acceptance, we're speaking about a lot of things, and I think it's right now it's on its way. Right now there's kind of a movement to accept like Black people, white people, Asian people. One of my fear would be like to show people who I am. You know, like I'm very in control of what I show, what I tell people. I think years made me like a shy person who doesn't speak about him, who doesn't share like secrets or intimacy. You know, all my life I've been like, I wouldn't say lonely, but because I had a few friends, but I never share people what I think, what I feel. You know, I'm different, and I know, and I don't want to appear like the one who's crying on himself. You know, like feeling depressing, and I try to do my best in everything I do to kind of prove people that even though I'm different, I can do things, I can do them great and maybe better than some others. So when I was a kid, I wanted to be like in music, so I took piano lessons, but every time my parents asked me to play something for them, I couldn't. I've always been too shy to be in the center of attention. I'm in control of my life, even if sometimes I'm insecure.